Hi everyone, my name is Hannah.
I'm Steven Raj.
And we're the designers behind Fecal Matter. Today we are here to talk about our looks.
Mainly our skin shoes and kind of the, human extension pieces that we create for our brand Fecal Matter.
The first time we presented our skin shoes was in our Spring/Summer 19 collection, which we presented in London. And since then, we've kind of developed upon the shoes to make them more comfortable, to make them more affordable, and to kind of continue with the mutation in other forms, such as the breastplate I'm wearing today.
Yeah,
or the fisting bag that Steven is wearing.
I guess the concept behind the skin shoes was, something that I used to draw when I was 10, actually, and we always wanted to integrate it within our collections, but I guess it was really difficult and impossible at the time when we first met each other. And it was until this silicone specialist, Sarah Sitkin, who is from LA, she contacted us on Instagram, and she basically said that she'd be able to help us make them come to life, because at that time we were photoshopping it and using prosthetic and gluing pieces like silicone horn pieces onto your leg.
But it was never like a shoe, or
it was never really functional. And so we were starting to actually get really kind of like pressured to do them in real life also, because everybody was like, is it real, is it fake? So I guess we were really lucky that she contacted us, because then once she did that, that's really when I guess the journey began. And it was a pretty long process. It took an entire year to get the first real perfect one out. It took a lot of prototypes, and she is from LA, so we were flying back and forth, so we were saving a lot of our money to be able to just do that project. But then once we actually created it and it actually came to life, it's really a signature piece within our work, and it kind of amplified every single thing that we do, and that's really why we kind of translated a lot of the mutation idea of changing the human body and experimenting with it, and that's really how all of these other pieces started to come about. And they obviously come in different skin tones, and kind of these are mine, and these are more, the affordable versions, because these are close to 10 grand, to be honest, because this is also our version of couture. So
similarly to when you go get a couture dress done by Chanel or any other couturier, the couture house will create a mannequin of the client's body. And we do the exact same if somebody wants a skin shoe. They will have to get their leg casted, and from there we will be creating a mannequin of their leg to be able to create the shoe. I'll show you a bit. Mine are thigh high. Let's see how this goes. They're thigh high. So it's basically like you slip into it like any other regular thigh high boot. It's completely made out of silicone, the skin part. And then there's a platform added and mutated horns. Depending on the client, you'll have different skin tones, moles, you can add hair, you can do whatever you want, you can add tattoos.
For our next collections that we're working on, they're definitely gonna, the skin shoes and kind of the skin pieces are gonna be a big part of our work, and kind of a continual experimentation project for us. So we're gonna do a lot of different things, obviously, but specifically for these ones, what we love about it is kind of like the horns. I think that's what is really kind of like the most stylistic elements to the skin shoes that we really wanted to integrate, because there was the idea of kind of like either making the heel into like a finger or like stuff like that, because we've done kind of these this prosthetic where it's like a middle finger. So we were thinking of going in that direction, but then for the first one we wanted to really kind of have the horns, and I guess we're really fascinated with kind of the shape and the silhouette of a horn and kind of the gradualness of it all. So we've definitely integrated it. And the first one we ever did had one horn, and these ones, because these are the second version, they have two horns. And we're kind of playing with that, where it's like every different type of, I guess, skin heel we come up, there's going to be kind of the number of more horns. And I guess this full look, I mean, this is kind of, you wore this look to this like award thing in Canada, because that's where we're from. And this is kind of like our version of Marilyn Monroe, and kind of like the alien Marilyn Monroe. And yeah, I mean, for us, it's really, I mean, with our work, we're really interested in, I guess, having our twist on kind of mainstream elements that people idolize and people consider kind of the staple of beauty and the staple of what is kind of normal. So for us, we always try to play with that and experiment with that. So that's really where, I mean, we're really obsessed with kind of like that kind of era, which is really interesting, because in the beginning of our work, we were really obsessed with kind of all things outside of the past. So for us, we were always looking into like kind of futuristic elements and all of that. So I think that recently, I mean, we've kind of gone bored with doing kind of the whole alien thing, so we're kind of experimenting in different ways. And I don't know, how does that make you feel in terms of...
I'm down for anything. We love to experiment, so yeah.
Yeah, and my look is really, this is actually the first piece we've ever made together. So this is actually made out of fusing. Fusing is usually a textile that is put into collars to stiffen it, and other like tailor jackets and stuff. So it's really like a glue that you never see on the outside. People usually hide it. So for us, the collection that we were doing was kind of about the inner skin and playing with kind of the inner layers within tailoring and garments and stuff like that. So we basically like glued a bunch of layers, and then we hand pulled each fiber, I guess, and yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm wearing, and yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it.